Well, thank you all for coming. My name is Roseanne Hernandez. I am the program manager for RIT for affiliate programs. So I work on the RIT side for advising students preparing to go to Siena.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Roseanne, and thank you so much for giving us the possibility to meet some of potential summer students. Before we go into any of the details of the program, we'd like to do a little round of introductions, including ourselves, but also you, if possible. So my name is Miriam Grottanelli, and I'm the director of the program and also the founder both of the school and of the program. I'm Italian. I'm hearing. I sign some Italian sign. I've only learned a few ASL signs, I'm afraid. But I have worked with the deaf community in Italy for the past 20 years at least. And I'm here with my colleagues Joe and Guaima, and I'll ask them to quickly introduce themselves. And then, if possible, it would be great to have you introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. My name's Joe or Joseph. I'm originally from England, but I've been living in Italy for many years now. Um, it's great to meet some of you and know that you're interested or thinking about our program. It was really a great honor and privilege to work on the program last year. And I work in the study abroad office, so working with the applications, working with the logistics. At the end of our presentation, you'll have my email if you have any further questions, and I can't wait to hear from you.
Hi everyone, I'm Guaima. I'm originally from Cuba, but I've been living in Italy for a long time now. I'm your program assistant. I'm helping Joe with the logistics side of the program, so with the application, and if you have any question, you can also ask me. I'm hearing, I'm trying to learn some sign language. It may come like an Italian sign language, but I will try to learn also the American one. So let's try it.
Okay, it would be nice if the students who are attending would introduce themselves. I'm just seeing one name at the beginning. There were a few more. I don't know whether maybe Roseanne has more.
So I don't have any more in the waiting room, but I think two dropped and then someone got on. There is someone here by phone. I'm not sure if it's one of the students who was on previously and was maybe having technical difficulties, but it looks like we have two participants.
Okay, would the two participants like to introduce themselves, possibly?
I can voice, but I'm not able to have my camera on right now. Is that okay?
Of course, fine. Sisi, if you just want to tell us um, who you are, what you're doing, and why you might be interested in coming to study in Italy.
My name is Lindsay. I am a second year interpreting student. I um am just really interested in getting to do a study abroad connected with NTID. I would love to get to learn another sign language, so the opportunity to learn Italian sign language sounds super interesting to me. And I also have been wanting to go to Italy and travel more. So it's an interesting and kind of perfect pairing. So I'm interested in learning more.
Excellent. Sounds like you have just the right profile. Very perfect candidate for our program, I would say. Anyone else who might want to introduce themselves? No? Okay. Never mind. We'll move along. And this session is being recorded anyway, so if there are other students will be able to see everything. So, Deaf Studies in Siena. First of all, you might notice there's a QR code here on the left, which will bring you to the website, and we'll repeat it at the end of the presentation, just in case you might need it. I think it's nice and important to start by giving you a little bit of the history of the program. The program started at this point, more than 20 years ago. When we started, we were the first ones in Europe to do anything like this. Nowadays, there's a few more programs, which is great because it means that people who are becoming interpreters or deaf students who are interested in traveling have more than one possibility. At the time when we started, it was really by chance, and the story is quite a funny one, so I'll just tell it. I was very good friends with a linguistics professor in Swarthmore who sent me a student. His nickname was Big Joe, and he was supposed to work with deaf children in Siena in order to get credits, which meant that I had to go and discover the community. I discovered sign language then, and I was, of course, fascinated by it. And the idea came about of providing the possibility for foreign students who are coming to Italy to learn about Italy and explore Italy through this very particular cultural and linguistic perspective, which was the deaf perspective. We started working, the first university we worked with, first universities that we worked with were University of New Mexico. If some of you are doing any kind of research in linguistics, you will probably recognize the name of Sherman Wilcox. He was in Siena for a conference that we had organized on gestures, and we got talking about the possibility of setting up this program. He was very interested, and we ended up in Siena creating a program that was for signers, whether deaf or hard of hearing or hearing, that were interested in coming and immersing themselves in a different sign language and in a different culture. So that was back in the year 2004, and as you can imagine, the program expanded from there, but some of the main features have remained very much the same. And it's important to underline our starting point, that was providing the opportunity to foreign signers to learn about and explore Italy through a deaf perspective, but within the context of our institute. And one of the specificities of our institute is that we are, in our approach, extremely interdisciplinary. So this remains something that is very particular about the school, and something that those of you who will end up here in the summer will encounter for sure. When it's not the summer, when it's not the month of June, we do all kinds of things at the school. We are a liberal arts and fine arts school. We have a residency program for artists. We have an outside space that is managed according to the principles of permaculture. So when you come here in the summer with the objective of learning sign language, You may well encounter visiting artists from the rest of the world because they come from all over the place. You may well see one day someone who is dressed with all the beekeeping equipment because we have bees at the bottom of the garden. You will encounter people from the city of Siena who are here for regular art courses. And this is definitely something that we like. We like this mix. We don't want to create sort of monoculture islands that are only looking at one aspect of culture. We like to share all the resources that we have here and all of our interests with all of our students throughout the year. So we're going to show you a little video so that you have a little bit of an idea of what Siena is like, and then we'll continue the conversation. Okay, as you can see, as you will have seen in the little video, the course is the program is very much about immersing all of our students in a new culture, and so because of that, we have a lot of excursions that introduce you to different aspects of Siena. So Siena as a very artful city, Siena as an international city, and Siena with its deaf community and its deaf culture. So within the space of 3 weeks, you're really being exposed to a lot of very different kinds of simulation, cultural simulation and linguistic simulation. So the program is certainly very intensive. Where is Siena? If you have an idea of what Italy looks like, and we always say it looks like a boot, Siena is right in the middle in a region that is called Tuscany. And in all honesty, I think we can, all of us from our team, we can say that it is for sure one of the most beautiful parts of Italy. So that is certainly one very good reason to come and study with us, because it's not just deaf culture, it's not just sign language, it's also Italy and some of the best of Italy that you encounter by living in Siena for 3 weeks. So I will give now space to my colleagues Joe and Guima. I think they want to tell you a little bit about Siena, you know, and what you might encounter when you come here in the summer.
Hello, everyone. It's me. I'm Joe again. And yes, so we can see from this map roughly the position of Siena. And so Siena is a I would say a medium, small city, maybe a big town. But it's a beautiful medieval town. So practically all of the the medieval walls, the city center is preserved and is very historical. So it's possibly the best preserved medieval city in Europe, and it is really rather beautiful. It also has we talk about the Palio, which is an important event for the city, and it's a horse race in the central piazza. So if you just let me go, oh, sorry. Let's have a look. Here is the central piazza. And so twice a year, unfortunately, you won't be there for the Palio, but twice a year there's this horse race. Why am I mentioning it if you're not going to be here for the Palio? Well, it's because it actually informs a lot of the life of the city. This is a competition between the different neighborhoods in the city center, that they all have a horse and a jockey in this horse race. And each of these neighborhoods fills the streets with flags and their symbols. Um, Throughout the year, they have different street parties, different cultural, social centers for people in the neighborhood and outside. So even if you're not going to be here for the Palio, you're going to live this kind of very active cultural life of the city, um, with its beautiful symbols and colors, but also events throughout the year. Um, Here also we can see some of the countryside around Siena. So really in Tuscany we have lots of beautiful countryside, which is perfect to visit on the weekend when you're not in class. And also on this map we can see the sort of rough distances between various cities in Siena. So very close, maybe a little bit more than an hour to Florence, a couple of hours from Rome. And so being in central Italy is a real advantage if the weekend you want to have a day trip in Rome. Naples a little further, but certainly some students manage to do it. And also up in the north of Italy, Venice, and also Cinque Terre, which are these beautiful islands in the northwest of Italy. So lots going on in Siena, lots going on in Tuscany, and also the central position of Siena that allows you to travel on the weekends in your free time to these other important destinations in Italy. Anything more to say about Siena, Guaima?
I think we're good with that. We can talk maybe about our program, some pragmatical information. So this year our program period is from June 4 to June 25. So it's a total of 3 weeks, during which you will take in 3 program courses. The first one will be Italians and languages, and it will be 45 hours of this, during which you will be actually learning the base of the Italians and language, so you can communicate with the deaf Italian community. Furthermore, you will have 30 hours of Italian deaf culture and history. And during the first week, it would be a 50 hours course of Italian language, in which you will learn your most important information on how to communicate when you are in Siena. Exactly. Our application deadline is March the 50th, is it? Yeah. And so make sure to apply early if you're really interested. The program cost, as you can see, is 4,250, and it includes tuition, accommodation in a double room, so you will be having a roommate, and also your program fees. think there is also an application fee before the whole thing. It would cost like 50 euros. And as a requirement, we actually think that we require a level 4 of ASL or an equivalent, and more likely, if you don't have that level, just to be very fluent on ASL, because all our class will be actually on that. Is there anything else I'm leaving, Joe?
Maybe
No, just to
I can
mention with
add.
the, sorry.
Sorry, maybe I can add just a couple of things about the requirement and then pass it back
Mhm.
up to Joe. So the standard requirement is ASL 4, or as Guima said, an equivalent. So basically, we want people who are certainly not beginners in their signing skills. However, the level of fluency can vary a lot, because people will come from different areas. You might come from interpreting studies, you might come from linguistics, you might come from education. And so your exposure to the deaf community will be very different. And we're very happy to evaluate your motivation together with the fluency and with your signing skills. That's important to underline. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
No, that's great. And just to say that we have an application process which also involves a short 20-minute interview with our interpreter Jenny, and that's to identify. It's not supposed to be a scary thing, but that's to make sure that this is the right program for you in terms of your level of signing. Identify if there's any more support we can provide pre-arrival to help you in the signing context, and also to understand uh, you as a person, your motivation, how we can make the best group dynamics. So we would certainly say if you are shy or not so confident or not so sure of your level of signing, that if you're interested and motivated for the program, to make an application, and then we can assess with our staff the level of signing, and if this really is the right course for you now, or maybe it will be better in a future year. So that's what I wanted to add.
Perfect. I think we'll just show you another little video. And of course, at the end of this presentation, very happy to answer all kinds of questions. So we'll show you the video so you see a bit more what Siena is like and what the program has to offer. And then we'll continue. Excellent. So now a few words about the people, because that really is one of the other very strong points of our program. During the summer, we recreate in Siena a mini signing universe with some of the absolute top people that we have in Italy. Our sign language teachers and our deaf culture teachers and our Italian language teachers come from all over Italy, and they just come during the month of June for those 3 weeks to interact with our group of students and give you their absolute best. The young woman that you see in the longer photograph, her name is Sara, Sara. She's an extremely experienced sign language teacher. She is also fairly fluent in ASL, which of course is an additional benefit when you have American students. The guy with the beard is again a teacher of sign language at university, but he is also a very, very well-known, very famous actor and poet in the Italian deaf community. The woman to his side, yes, is our interpreter. We import from San Francisco an ASL interpreter who has practically become a part of our family because she has now been working with us in the summer for quite a few years. And she provides not only accessibility in those cases when it's needed, because of course, when students come here, they come to a school that is not just it doesn't just focus on teaching sign language. It focuses also on art, on environmental sustainability, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that we have on staff an ASL interpreter for all those occasions when some of our staff who don't know ASL, or some of you who don't know Italian or yet as yet Italian Sign Language wants to communicate with someone who has a different language. Basically, when you come here, you come to a multicultural, multilingual, small universe that is created for you during the summer. Then the two people that you see at the bottom, the woman with curly hair and a blue shirt, Rita. This is her sign name, and she teaches deaf culture at the University of Venice and has been with us since the beginning of our program. So she's a sort of she's part of our history, not just part of our family, but part of our history. And her legacy has been embraced by the younger guy, also with a beard and curly hair, whose name is Pietro, who also teaches deaf culture and is a researcher in deaf culture and sign language. It's very important to know about this creation of a mini signing universe, because of it, we tend to attract a lot of visiting speakers and other important figures from the Italian deaf community, sometimes from the Italian interpreting community, and all of those presences go to the benefit and to enrich the learning experience of our students. In the past few years, we have also hosted at the same time as our program, as our sign language program, a week of specialization for Italian interpreters in deaf blindness and tactile lease, which again is another additional benefit for the program, because all of a sudden, from one day to the next, there are 20 Italian interpreters who are signing all the time in Italian Sign Language, and that is marvelous for your language acquisition, of course. It's also very interesting for those of you who are a bit further along in your interpreting studies, because you can make a lot of you can meet a lot of potential colleagues that are based in Italy instead of based in America. Vediamo, move on. Okay, back to Joe and Guaima. Whoops. Yeah, aspetta, you have to stop one of them, Joe, otherwise it's too much signing. If it's possible. These two girls were two sisters that are originally Italian, so they were particularly interested in coming to study with us. They were very good signers. They come from a very strong deaf family. They weren't studying in the same university. They were in two different universities. So it was a very cool experience for them to be able to share this experience in the summer. Your sign language will, it's interesting, it will improve. At the beginning, learning a new sign language is very intense, and you don't really realize how much you've learned until the very end of the program because it's so intense. There are many, many academic and cultural benefits to studying another sign language in a different country. When you learn a new sign language, it really gives you a new perspective on your own sign language, because you have to shift something. You have to understand and explore your own signing skills in a completely different way. It's an incredible experience if you're an interpreting major, or if you want to have a career in interpreting, because when you're starting as an interpreter, you know yourself as someone who is facilitating, who is usually in the role of facilitating communication. When you arrive over here, you are suddenly in a position where you don't understand the culture, you don't understand the sign language, and so you have to rethink everything that you knew of yourself. And that is incredibly refreshing and very liberating. And I have had so many former students who were either already interpreters or wanted to become interpreters telling me later the huge advantage that they gained by studying a different sign language in the country of that sign language. So definitely to be recommended, whether you are a deaf student who is mother tongue signer, or whether you are a professional interpreter, or whether you are aiming to have a career in interpreting. And certainly, there are huge cultural benefits. Maybe Joe and Guaima want to say a little bit about that.
Yes, other than the credits that this program can give, it's also an opportunity for the students to immerse in another culture, and when by experience deaf life in a different country, student can gain also a broader, a more global perspective of the community, and you can compare it with your own deaf culture and notice similarities and differences and deepen also your understanding of the deaf culture. Also, it's built cross-cultural awareness and also adaptability and a deeper appreciation, I may say, for linguistic and cultural diversity. Yeah.
I just wanted to add that there's the benefits of being part of this cohort, this group of students for the year. So um, generally, well, always we're mixing with new people, both professionals and other students at a different variety of different institutions and universities, and as well as the external speakers and the members of staff on our team. So it's really an opportunity to make new friends, make new connections. Um, and given how academically intensive and challenging it can be at times, it's also a great group dynamic that forms between staff, students, um, and to go through this experience of being in another culture, studying abroad. It's not always the simplest thing to do in the world, but it is a really rewarding process. And to do it with a fantastic group of other highly motivated students like yourselves is a great opportunity and a great plus for the program.
And I would like to, if I can pick from there, from what Joe and Guaymas said, it's the idea of community is very important to us. It's something that we insist on right from the very first interview. As both Joe and Guaymas said, when you come here, you come with your own aims, your own energy, motivation, and objectives. So you come as your own individual. You also come as part of a group. So that aspect can be a fantastically nourishing experience, because you're in an intense program. You're in a new culture, in a new space, learning a new language, confronted with new challenges, and you are part of a group that is going through very similar challenges as you are, or the same challenges in some cases. So being together and being, how can we say, being accompanied by all of us can be a tremendously enriching experience. And that is, we want it to be. We want it to be enriching from the academic point of view, from the language point of view, but also from the community point of view, from the point of view of relating, learning a bit more about how I relate to other people when I'm in a potentially complicated or slightly challenging situation. So that side of the program is very important for us. I think we've said as much as we wanted. So thank you for attending, and we'd love to see if there are any questions. And of course, the questions can happen now, or they can happen by email, through video, whatever you might be most comfortable with. And we're happy to answer just about anything.
I'd also like to add that if anybody wants to put questions in the chat, I can read them and share them with the interpreters.
Maybe Joe, you can take off the close the presentation and we can see if there's anybody that wants to ask us anything.
Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to reiterate that you can, I'm sure, contact any of us from from the presentation. I put my email here, which is studyabroad@sienaart.org. So if you want to have any further questions, you can put that there. But I'll take off the okay.
Perfect. Okay, I can't see if there's anybody who wants to ask us any. Oh, maybe.
It looks like we have one person who's on the phone right now, who
Okay,
called in, but I think the other person left. I can maybe just give a very brief overview of the RIT process.
wonderful.
And so anyone who is interested in attending this program would need to have an advising meeting with me. This is where I'll go through the application steps for RIT, eligibility requirements, anything that you need to do, course approvals, things like that in that meeting. And then our application deadline is for RIT is March 1st. So you can contact me. You can sign up online on the Study Abroad website, RIT, to sign up for a meeting with me. If you do need interpreting, please request an interpreter. And then we can go from there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Roseanne. Thank you very much to the interpreters. Thank you to my colleagues, of course. And you can find us anytime you need us. And hopefully we will see you in Siena this
Thank
summer.
you guys as well. I appreciate
And
you
we
putting this
can
together.
and we can all work on trying to get Roseanne to Italy as well. Grazie. Thank you very much.